Right, so moving on to SmackDown, which was the better show this week, which I have to say, which pains my heart and my soul to say.
Yeah. Hey, when are you gonna come to the light, man? Join that BBB.
No, I'm not doing that. But anyways,
That
um,
blue brand bias, right?
yeah, I'm definitely not joining in the Blue Brand bias, man. I can't do that, man. It's not right. I'm raw royalty, double R.
Preston's Preston's a blood at heart.
Absolutely, Pyru. All right, so in the beginning of SmackDown, we had Paige come out. She basically talked about the whole situation with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, and saying that she thought about firing Samoa Joe because he went to AJ Styles' house and he took it way too far. Which personally, I don't think he took it too far. And AJ Styles begged her not to get Samoa Joe fired because he wanted to fight him in the ring. Blah blah blah.
Right.
What did you think about that segment?
I mean, I think it was stupid, and it pains me to say that because Paige is looking hot as ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I didn't like the segment because they're like, oh, the most heinous or fish or whatever you words she used to describe it. I'm like, bro, that was tame. All he did was talk shit for like 5 minutes and then tease that he was gonna go in.
He didn't even go inside the house. He could have been sitting on the front porch the whole time.
Like, what's so crazy about that?
I don't know. You had a guy burn someone's. You had Randy Orton burn down Sister Abigail's thing like months ago. So like, why is this so
Bro,
extreme? He didn't even get arrested.
You had Kane set Jim Ross on fire in the 90s.
Yeah, I don't know.
The angle between Stone Cold and Brian Pillman, where Brian Pillman's allegedly pulled out a gun.
Yeah, I remember. That was crazy. I forgot about that.
Or something that's had more recent, similar to that, when Triple H invaded Randy Orton's home and whooped his ass.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
Like, dude, you talk about like that's the worst of the worst. No, it's not.
Yeah,
It's
wildin'. It's definitely not the worst
that
of
was
the worst.
that was terrible.
You gonna have Randy Orton stick a screwdriver through somebody's earlobe, rip their earlobe up, and he didn't go to jail, but you trying to fire Samoa Joe just by stepping up the dude's house? Like, come on, man. He didn't even go inside. But then he had AJ Styles kind of spooked though, because he was sitting at home on the couch. He was like, "I don't want to wrestle tonight, man.
Yeah,
I just want to be with my family." He was
He ain't
definitely a
crook,
shook one.
son. He's just a shook one.
He definitely was shook. Like that dude was scared. That dude was scared. But it was, like you said, it was stupid. Just to build on to the AJ Styles and Samoa Joe thing. So I don't know where they go next. It feel like instead of him going inside the house, I don't know what else they can do. You can't go any further than that.
To me, the thing that pissed me off the most is that, we finally got what we wanted for him to pull up at AJ's house.
Mm-hmm.
But then we got this after. It's like
this should happen.
That was such a weak payoff for that.
It definitely was. Yeah, he should have did this. It was a lot of great moments so far in this feud, but they should have happened in a different order. Like the whole brawl between him and Samoa Joe should have happened right before that pay-per-view, the last pay-per-view we had. And
if anything, what they should have done was they should have saved the Daddy's Home angle for this week.
That should have, yeah. Because if they would have did it the way where Samoa Joe was at his house, then the next week have them come out to the ring and brawl, like have that happen before Super Showdown. Then that would have made more sense and I would have brought more intensity, like into the whole entire feud. But moving on to the next one, which I feel like was my favorite match of the night actually on SmackDown, was R-Truth and Carmella versus Andrade Cien Almas and your girl Zelina's.
Oh yeah. Zelina. Yeah, no, that was a good match. That was
It was
fun,
very entertaining
match.
Very
Like,
entertaining.
I love that they're using Truth now, like pretty much on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And you got to get your girl Zelina's. She better not ever disrespect Michael Jackson again with that dry moonwalk she did in the ring. That was terrible.
Oh no, she been a bad girl. She need to be punished.
Oh man! All right, so that match was that match was pretty good, man. Anytime R-Truth and Carmella's on the screen, it's actually been really entertaining, like very very entertaining.
No, and you saw how when the match started, people were chanting Truth TV.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then they even had a 7 second dance break and during the match. That was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny. And one thing I will say, and I'll say this on behalf of Carmine, that like we said this before on a previous podcast, they need to do something with Andrade Cien. They need to put him in something that he can't just keep doing these like, just basic matches. He has to be in something.
Facts.
Yeah, but overall, okay.
Yeah, overall it was a good match. I enjoyed it, and I thought it was a nice little twist where instead of losing off the distraction, that Carmelo was able to reverse Zelina's roll up into the code of silence.
Yeah, and one thing I would say too, because after watching this match and seeing the next segment that we're going to talk about, I was like, that's one thing that's special about SmackDown is that Raw is like it takes itself way too serious. Outside of Leo Rush and Elias Sampson, SmackDown is just trying to have fun. They don't take themselves serious. They're self-aware. They're just here just for entertainment, and like that's why it's like refreshing to see that after 3 hours of super seriousness on Raw and bad segments and bad matches on top of that. So the next time you had the New Day Cooks, they were coming out to kind of share their recipe for their pancakes. And it got interfered by the Bar. The Bar came in and crashed the party.
And they got their asses kicked.
Yep. And so what's the guy's name? Their partner, the guy
Mr. Bootyworth.
Mr. Bootyworth. Yeah.
Yeah, a play on Mrs. Butterworth.
Yeah, play on Mrs. Butterworth. He pretty much got pancake mix poured into his hat, put on the top of his head, and then Cesaro poured a big old bowl of pancake mix on top of him with that as well. So
Poor guy.
Very interesting segment. I thought it was really good because, I'm sure it was good for the crowd there. Like the New Day, that's what they're really good at. They're really good at doing segments that's good to see on TV, but at the same time, it's probably incredible to be there in person to actually watch, and it involves the crowd.
I mean, the only thing that this really accomplished is really like confirming that the Bar is definitely not winning on Saturday.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
because they've been making the New Day look like bitches for the past few weeks, so they're definitely not winning.
But then they raise the question: if the Bar doesn't win, then what's next?
Another match
between the two of those teams.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
But in any case, we digress.
Moving on to the next situation: Ty Dillinger versus Randy Orton, because he asked Paige to get this match with Randy Orton because of what Randy Orton did to him last week. And this is probably the worst decision that Ty Dillinger has ever made in his life.
Before we even get to that, we gotta talk about Paige backstage.
Oh, what about her?
She was she was like pleading and trying to like convince him like, no, you don't want that match.
Yeah,
and
she
he was
tried
like,
to warn him.
I do, and she was like, I'm never gonna understand men.
Oh yeah. No, she understand men. No, she understand. She understand them. But the crazy part about this is Ty Dillinger asked for the match, and this is okay. This is the thing. Ty Dillinger, you can tell that he was like a person they sent out like he was like the last resort, and this is where the face heel thing starts to mess up things in WWE because they're like, oh, we're all out of faces, so let's just send him a random face that we just have backstage, Ty Dillinger, because we all know this is not going anywhere. After Super Showdown, this is over, and he ended up being the person.
That's not even on the card that I know of.
Yeah. After Super Showdown, this thing going on between him and Ty Dillinger, it's not going to happen. Nothing else is going to happen between these two. And it was what it was. Was it an amazing match? Probably not.
It wasn't even a match. Ty attacked him before the match started, and then he got his ass kicked.
Yeah, then
it wasn't even a match.
He got his fingers messed up.
The only funny thing was when, funny in a stupid way, when Corey Graves, you remember when Orton did that, what's it called? When he did that, God damn it, I forgot the word. When he did that spot, there you go. That spot where, he put Ty's finger in between the metal wiring or whatever it was for the turnbuckle.
Uh-huh.
And then, what's his name? Corey Graves like, this has got to be the most sickening attack I've ever seen in my life, something like that. I was like, what?
Yeah, they
I'm like, did
oversold
you?
that.
I'm like, yo, like, I don't know if it was a competition or I don't know, maybe a bet that they made backstage between him and Paige as to who can say the most outrageous shit.
Yeah, because that didn't make any
But
sense.
I'm like, did you forget about what he did to Jeff Hardy?
Exactly. I don't know, man.
Like,
I guess they got to
anyway,
spice it up a little
we're
bit.
spending too much on time on that.
Oh yeah, moving on to the next one. This part was okay because it was kind of obvious what was going to happen. We had to it's a segment between Rusev and Lana and Aiden English, which he was trying to explain what that one night in Milwaukee was between him and Lana, and he showed video footage of him practicing his this quote unquote song that he was going to have for Milwaukee. Then in the background you see Lana walk into his hotel room, and she basically says, "I want you." And cuts out the
cut
film.
it right there.
And at that point, I already knew. I was like, "There's more to the film. We know there's more to the film." She didn't just walk in there and say that she want him. The camera's sitting right there. I'm sure she saw it. Like, y'all not finna tell me on this.
Like it was good because of how the crowd reacted to it.
Yeah.
But then it's like you can tell it was just like, come on, man. Like we know that that's not all that she said.
And Rusev didn't even look like he believed it. Like he didn't even look like he was even surprised. He didn't look like
He
anything.
didn't even really sell it.
Yeah, he was just like, okay, I'm gonna kill this guy. Like that's basically what he just looked like. He didn't look like, what were you doing in his hotel room? Which is the biggest question. Why are you in there without me? Late at night with him having no shirt on. But I don't know. I mean, they're trying. They're trying. I appreciate that. It's entertaining. Moving on to the next match we had between Daniel Bryan and some guy that we forgot was in the WWE, Shelton Benjamin.
Oh wow. Pretty solid match, I can't lie.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid match. Did you realize that botch that happened when Daniel Bryan went for that flying headbutt off the top of the turnbuckle, and he accidentally headbutted? I was like, man, that's crazy. I don't know who's at fault there. I don't know if Shelton Benjamin didn't roll fast enough or if Daniel Bryan jumped too far, but that was pretty interesting. It was good to see Shelton Benjamin back in the ring though. Like it was, but you know, it was a pretty solid match. What did you think about it?
I think it was good, you know, like but the best part of the match was Miz on commentary.
Yeah, the Miz on commentary was hilarious the whole time, just talking.
That's money. That's money. Miz on any microphone is money.
If you go back and watch that match, you see when they do the headbutt thing, you see the Miz's face. You could tell he reacted like, "Oh my god, what happened?" But I agree, man.
He was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. Yeah, he was like, his reaction was crazy, but yeah, the match was a pretty solid match, man. Just to further the whole Miz and Daniel Bryan situation.
Yeah, the ending was predictable. Miz cost them the match, and then he hit him with the skull crushing finale.
Yeah, and Daniel Bryan, you can't botch a week after your wife botched, man. That don't look good.
Especially after he defended her on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know what y'all eating at home, but y'all need to kind of throw that in the garbage, man.
I don't know. Maybe it's just that that veganism thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that vegan stuff. Yeah, you probably too strong when you become a vegan. Okay, so after that we had Asuka versus Peyton Royce.
Waste of a match.
Waste of a match for one. I agree. I didn't like the fact that Peyton Royce hung in there with Asuka for that long in this match, and it just further shows how much they're normalizing Asuka even more. Like it don't look like she's going back to be that beast anytime soon.
She never will.
Yeah, it was pretty much a waste of a match. I didn't really care about it, you know, but it is what it is. Then after that, we had a great segment with Becky Lynch. She pretty much kind of reminded me of CM Punk in this one when she's talking about the fact that her face isn't on the posters, she isn't in the movies, her face isn't on the cups. Stone Cold Becky, as usual, giving these great segments. She looks a lot more comfortable now, giving these segments.
Yeah, and you can feel it like she's being herself.
She's being herself, and Charlotte's still jealous. But overall, it was a great segment from Becky. She did her job as usual. Every week she gives a great promo as Stone Cold Becky. What did you think about it?
I loved it and how she teased with that poster.
That was a great poster.
That was great.
But,
And the only thing I didn't like was the fact that what's her name, Charlotte actually got the upper hand on her. But hey, you got to give her something after being made look like a chump for weeks on end.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to give her something. But I mean, overall, I like SmackDown this week as usual. They're very consistent as far as making a good show. I don't think it was like a great show, but I give it a B. I think it was a B worthy show.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. Like I said, it was an okay show, but there was some stupid things, and yeah, like for a go home show, I was expecting more,
Yeah.
but definitely a lot better than Raw, so I'll give it a B.
Yeah, they didn't. Neither show really drove any storylines as much as I
They
felt
didn't
like they
really
did.
drive any
They should've.
points home, really.
Yeah, they didn't really do that much, but SmackDown had better matches, so I'll give it to SmackDown.